So last year I had got kicked out of my Section 8 apartment for making candy grapes out of my apartment, which I didn't know was very illegal to do. I was just trying to make money for my kids, and my husband had lost his job that December because we had got COVID and he was in his probationary period for his job and he had to take off, so they fired him. Actually, they brought him back for a week, fired him a week after Christmas. So from December to April, we didn't have an income. Things were getting like really, really rough. So I know what I had to do. I knew I could make some really good grapes, and we made a Facebook page and it literally blew up. I went from not even having any social media to having 5,000 followers in less than 50 days.
I want to start off by saying shout out to her. Her husband lost her job and money was getting a little tight, and she understood that it was all hands on deck, and she started a business and made some shake. So shout out to her.
I was working 7/12s and I was making a lot of money that I did not turn in. So the manager of my apartments had found out because we went on a beach vacation. I was actually able to pay for within like 3 weeks a beach vacation for my family, and we had posted a picture of it on our business page because we were just happy and we were having a great time, and my kids, we don't get to do that stuff kind of often. So
All right, so let's pause right there. So she was on Section 8 housing, husband lost her job. She started a business. The business started doing well, selling candy grapes, and she made the number one, she made the mistake of she was running an illegal business. I mean, you can't be selling candy grapes, any type of food outside your house. I mean, obviously that comes with permits, licensing. But what really got her jammed up is something we discuss on this channel all the time, is putting too much of your business on social media. She posted a picture of her family outing to the beach on her business page, and her landlord saw it, and this was the beginning of the end.
so we were having a lot of fun, and I knew immediately after I posted that I had a bad feeling. I was like, somebody is evil eyeing this, like I could just feel it. And I also knew in my heart when I got home that I was coming home to something in my door, and I did. While I was on vacation, somebody, which I believe was the manager of the apartments, had got on my Facebook from a page that was literally just made, and the picture of it was a rat. A rat. And they commented all my business on there. They knew so much about me and my apartment complex and my business and everything. It was someone that was very close to me but didn't really know me yet, but was very, very mad that I was doing business in these apartments, which I did not know that I could not do, you know.
Hmm. I don't know if I believe that she was naive to the fact that you could not have a candy business, selling candy outside of your apartment. I mean, that's pretty much common sense, but it definitely does sound like it was her manager or, again, someone close to you. Like it always is. When you see people who talk about their job negatively on social media, they badmouth one of their coworkers. It's always going to be someone close to you that knows you. 9 times out of 10 in real life, that's going to be the person that turns you in or expose you. That's why people have to learn how to master winning in silence. Learn how to win in silence and keep most of your business private and off of social media. Again, we're living in a world where a lot of people are not happy with their lives. And it's to the point where they want others to be miserable just like them. So you have to learn how to win in silence.
I literally just started making candy grapes for just some extra money, just try to get through, and it blew up. So, like I said, I knew in my heart something was going to be in my door when I got home. Surely that night of June, I got home from the beach, I had a note in my door. And it was a note from my manager saying that she had been informed by multiple people that I had started a business a couple weeks ago, been making a bunch of money, had a big following on Facebook, went on family vacation. They had wrongly dated. The letter was dated for June 17th. I didn't even go on vacation until June 18th. I got back on the 25th, and the letter was in my door, and they were talking about my vacation and everything in it. So, and I didn't even post the family picture until June 23rd. And they didn't post, they had the letter dated for June 17th, and I didn't even post the family picture of the beach till June 23rd. So anyways, to make a really long story short, the letter said that I needed to meet with the manager. She had went back on all of my posts and calculated that I had made over $10,000 in a 7-week period.
So her manager literally went onto her Facebook. I mean, this is the definition of pocket watching. Sad, sad. I mean, like I said, think about it. She was on Section 8. Cool. She ran into a situation where her husband lost her job and she made a move for the family, made something shake, started a business, and it ultimately took off. She did some things that probably were, I mean, not probably, but were definitely illegal, not having the proper paperwork. But nonetheless, she started this business, it took off, and the beginning of the end was because she could not keep things private. Again, people don't really want to see you win in life. If you There's one thing you should definitely take from the story.
And that I didn't turn in any of my income, which is true, I didn't. But I never hid anything. I was very open about this the entire time. I literally had people all day, every day, pulling up to my apartment, and her office was right across from my apartment. She keeps her windows open. She was literally best friends with my neighbor. She knew what was going on. So I went in for the meeting. She gave me 2 options. I could move out scotch-free, just drop it all. Or I could try to fight it and to stay my lease out, which was due in August anyways. But either way, she was not going to let me renew my lease. She wanted me out of there. Mind you, I had only lived there barely a year and a half. And also when I was in there, she told me that fraud investigators got a hold of her from the food stamp office, and now they were also investigating me due to some complaints as well.
Damn. So this post on Facebook caused a spiral effect. Not only did the landlord want her to get kicked out, which I can somewhat understand, because if her business was booming like that and you constantly have strangers coming into the complex up to her door, in and out, I can understand why you would not, maybe as a property manager, may not want her to renew her lease. But also now they turned her in for food stamp fraud. This is very, very, very serious. So let's continue to part 2.
So like I said, the manager from the apartments had got a hold of me when we were in our meeting and told me that she was also contacted by some fraud investigators from the food stamp office, and they had opened an investigation on me because they had complaints as well. So during the meeting with the manager, I had just decided to just give up the apartment. I wasn't going to try to fight for 2 months because she already had made up her mind that she wasn't going to renew my lease anyways. So I just took my loss and moved out. Now I look back and I kind of wish I would have fought it, just because like I'm living with my mother-in-law and that's always hard right now, and I miss my apartment, but everything happens for a reason. So the next day, I immediately called the food stamp office and tried to get a hold of whatever investigators were over my case. And I got a hold of them, and they were expecting my call, and they knew who I was, and they told me that I could be facing prison time. They told me what I'd done was very serious, and they did actually have some evidence that I was, in fact, swiping my food card a few times for, I had to start my business to take the pictures. I had bought the supplies with my food card, and they had evidence of that. But come to find out, whenever the investigators came over to the house and talked to me, they were amazing, and they worked with me so much and were so helpful. And since I had never been in trouble and it was my first offense with anything, all I had to do was sign so I ended up just having to sign an IPV, which is just saying that I had violated the food stamp program and that I was no longer allowed to ever be on food stamps, which I was completely fine with, as a matter of fact, like very happy with, because I thought I could have been going to prison, and I have 6 babies.
Ooh, 6 babies, Lord. But let's pause right there. I mean, I'm not really mad at her though. Again, her back was against the wall. Her husband lost her job and she made something shake. I mean, we've seen so many times with these Section 8 videos, food stamp videos, people literally bragging about how they finesse and get over on the system when, yeah, I mean, it did technically buying these supplies for a business with a food stamp card. Was that illegal? Definitely. But I mean, she turned a negative situation into a positive. I'm not really mad at that. And I'm glad, once they did the investigation, they probably seen like, look, hey, she probably explained to him, my husband lost a job. I tried to start a business. I didn't know it was going to blow up like this. And they took some leniency on her. So I'm not mad.
So, fast forward almost a year later, I'm living with my mother in law. Thankfully, she has a way big enough house to fit me and my kids in it right now. I am on maternity leave because during it all, I get pregnant. But good news is, since then, I was able to get a commercial kitchen. Just a few months after getting kicked out of the apartment, I was able to really jumpstart my business. I now have a full business making my candy grapes called 740 Eats, and I branched out into selling other foods. And I'm just on maternity leave, and I am looking at a new deal to open a full restaurant next year. We are just waiting on a few things. Like I got a text this morning, we're waiting on a vent hood and the sink and the prep room and everything. But other than that, everything happens for a reason. I don't think that we were meant to stay on food stamps. I don't think we were meant to be on HUD. I don't think we were meant to just stay in that stagnant situation I think that we were comfortable in, and that we probably would have stayed in if it wasn't for this push of us to get out of.
Shout out to her. I say this all the time when I discuss these Section 8 videos, how people get mad at me when I say that I'm happy that they're going to have a ban on junk food, when they're going to have a ban on sodas. Section 8, EBT, all that stuff makes you comfortable. When someone continues to give you your daily bread, it takes away your ambition, it takes away your hustle for most to want more. And she clearly stated if it was never for number one, her husband losing her job, and she starting this candy business, this grape selling business, she still would have been comfortable on Section 8. Again, most of these Section 8 stories we hear about people trying to finagle and finesse, but she literally turned a negative into a positive. And now not only she has her own found own commercial space to rent out to legally sell her candy grapes. She's looking to open up a full blown restaurant, and she's no longer mooching off the system, and she seems very happy.
So now our goals are to just continue saving our money. My husband works full time, actually works two jobs right now, to make up for my income since I'm on maternity leave. And we're just saving and hopefully getting our credit repaired and getting all of our ducks in a row to buy a home.
Shout out to her. Shout out to the husband. He's back working two jobs, grinding. She has a business and she's looking to grow and expand. Again, she didn't do everything by the textbook. Maybe she was a little naive, not understanding that if you cannot start a business from your home, especially you spelling food. You have to have certain licensings and there's certain regulations that come along with it. But ultimately, whoever hated on her and reported her to the landlord and reported her to for fraud with her food stamps. It ultimately helped her in the end and gave her that push to want to better herself. And that's ultimately what you want to see with anybody who's receiving any type of government assistance. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I look forward to hearing from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.